All right, to watch this video for Monday, May 15th, we can see the SPY just trotting along sideways here, near all-time highs. IWM has lost the 20-day. Small cap's not doing quite as well, but still hanging on really close to all-time highs. That just tells me to go ahead and build a normal watch list. WKHS, we had this on Bounce Watch. If I take Friday's candle out of it, you can see it had this really nice move. Kind of retraced most of it, though, but had a little bit of a bottoming tail there on Thursday. And then we got a decent bounce on Friday. I made a couple bucks in this one on two different trades, but never really got going. Nice end of day call. I called it right here at 260, right there. And it went, I don't know, just up a little bit, flagged for then another, 30 minutes or an hour, and then finally closed strong. So I didn't have the patience to hang out, so I just got a scalp in that one. If I was hanging out to the closing bell, it would have been a little bit better of a trade. But anyway, having said all that, it did bounce on Friday and may continue to bounce higher on Monday. DRWI, kind of obscure here, but this one in the past has made big moves. You can see here, here, here. It just keeps putting in lower highs, but kind of found some decent support down here around a buck. And the other day, this probably would have been what, Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday had a decent little pop. I got to zoom in to show it a little better. So the range on Tuesday was from 94 cents to $1.33. So I mean, it's a pretty good range. I would note that it still only traded 1.2 million, but this one may have bottomed and be ready to make one of these little intermittent short squeezes that you see happen every now and then, and maybe it's to the point where it's due. But I do like it over Friday's high, over $1.25. Might just retake Tuesday's high, which was $1.33, and then maybe a little bit of a mini squeeze, right? I mean, back here on March 14th, so not that long ago, it traded 10 million shares that day and had a pretty nice range. So it's kind of a sleeper play, but one to watch in my opinion. CBI, and let me pan out a little bit now. Chicago Bridge and Iron. I mean, that's grinding lower, and all of a sudden you're getting that kind of big flush on massive volume. Again, not a bullish chart. I say this all the time, but at the same time, it's definitely due for a snapback bounce. And as a day trader, I like to have a couple of these on watch every night if I can, because I'm just looking for an intraday trade. So if it gives me a setup, and the exact same argument here for Hertz, HTZ. At some point, value players are going to step in and turn this thing. So I want to have that on watch too. Nordstrom's, JWN. A couple big down days into support from March. Certainly overdue for a bounce. OPTT has been on watch for like 4 days in a row. Haven't done anything with it. You had this spike here up into, see this gap right here? It popped up on decent volume up into this gap. This would, what, Monday? Yeah, this would have been Monday of last week. And you're really just flagging since the pop. If we get back up into the mid to high 150s, this one might squeeze. So I'm going to keep my eyes on that one. Just because something sets up doesn't mean it's going to, trigger within the day or two that you're watching it. And I've been watching it for a few days, so maybe Monday or Tuesday next week. AUPH is a little weird. It's got great support here, but it keeps spiking up and getting thwarted, and it did it again here. But now it's kind of building higher, and 3 green candles in a row. So kind of interesting over Friday's high, which would be over 766. So there's a lucky entry, 777. If it gets there, that might be enough to get it going. I'll only take that if the intraday setup makes sense to me. FBIO, you had a spike back here to 414, then a lower high, then a lower high. So if you picture a trend line right here where my mouse is going, it's breaking above that trend line on extra volume on Friday. And if you look at Friday's intraday trading, pretty nice volume spike there, and really just flagged the rest of the day. And this is basically the picture of why I don't trade most afternoons. You get the big moves in the morning, and if you're trying to just wait all afternoon for a breakout and then the market closes and your weekend starts, your weekend could have started back here. You see that a lot. So that's kind of I do like the day-long flag after the pop. It's also worth noting that it's that it's green 3 days in a row. But maybe some kind of volume push through 4 on Monday might be worth watching, knowing that if it gets through 414, that's a pretty good catalyst for potential higher prices there. If I pan out, you can see then the next catalyst would be up here, the next resistance, whatever you want to call it. Certainly in a long-term trend line that you can picture, right? From here to here to here, and it's trying to break through that. But it might be a little bit tired, if you will, in the very short term. So maybe that thing needs to flag for a few days first. And lastly, VHI, which I kind of don't think I've ever traded. And you can see why. A big volume spike for this one is barely over 1 million shares, but you've got kind of a nice flag pattern here too, and it's trying to break through that flag on extra volume on Friday. Maybe a red to green in that one. I got to tell you, I'm not in love with this list, but I've had some of my biggest days on trading days when I'm not in love with my list, but in the morning we log in and catch a beautiful gap and go play or something, right? So I might make a killing in something on Monday that's not on my radar at all right now. So that's the beauty of trading. A good trade can come from anywhere at any time. All right, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers, and we'll see everybody on Monday.